Hello, me lads and lovelies. Captain Edward von Arkham here, coming to you from on board the MHS Hysteria in Narcotis. It is with great pride and unparalleled delight that I can declare the grand success of our passage. My polydimensional subfield extrapolator opened the way to us without fault or hiccup, and we broke through the cyclical substream barrier and emerged over the fabled city of Narcotis at its height in the late Permian Age. Upon landing outside the city's walls, we were astonished to be greeted by a living member of the Great Race, who welcomed us as invited guests and ushered us into the city on a guided tour. Whilst it was easily imagined that the Yith, with their nigh omniscient perception of time, would have the precognition of our transtemporal incursion with their isolated time stream, we were nonetheless surprised at the reception we received. As it turns out, the Great Race have long been monitoring our extensive search for their time-lost civilization. Their far-reaching technologies grant them access to all manner of historical archives, including our very own ship's logs. They tell us that they find our logs both captivating and informative, and anticipating our discovery of and visit to their civilization, they sought to offer us an appropriately cordial welcome, and we have learned much from the benefits of their hospitality. Whilst members of the Great Race have no vocal organs with which to utter speech, they communicate with each other through the clicking of their great pincers in a sort of signal code, whilst they communicate with us through the use of an ingenious device which translates their language to human speech. Their system of government is a sort of fascistic socialism, run by a small group of exceptionally intelligent ministers controlling the distribution of resources and the organization of the industries, both scientific and architectural. The metropolis itself is a megalithic marvel. The gargantuan stone masonry bears an extraordinary curvilinear design that parallels the Yith's written language. Each building appears to consist of a towering set of flat-roofed terraces. The streets are paved with smooth-faced slabs and girdled with lush gardens of Triassic ferns and cycads. The utter scale of the city is astounding. We are like dwarves in the shadow of a megalopolis built to Yithian proportions. The feats of strength and faculty used in constructing these cyclopean edifices is mind-boggling, but not as mind-boggling as their laboratories. Not a child in a sweet shop, nor a toucan amongst puffins, nor Henry VIII in a room full of ham could have been more excited than I at the veritable treasure trove of scientific wonders that was the Great Race's Hall of Science. The Yith are masters of countless more extraordinary technologies than I could have ever imagined. Electro-repulsive aviation, dimensional transcendentalism, tachyonic condensation, submolecular structural manipulation, biotissue regenerative stimulation, chronolinear engineering, paradox resolution mechanics, quintessence field generation. The breadth of knowledge that I absorbed was flabbergasting. Unfortunately, the Yith have made me promise not to talk about any of it. Augustus and Lily were delighted to be given moderate access to the Great Race's fabled library. They examined volumes written by captive minds from all across history, finding the chronicles of familiar names such as Bartolomeo Corsi, Yang Li, and of course, Nathaniel Peaslee. Though most remarkable of all were the records of the inhuman captives. Indeed, there were the writings of captive minds from terrestrial species of all shapes, forms, and epochs. There were the records from the primordial star-headed crinoid beings of the Paleogean Age, from the serpent men of Volusia, from the furry pre-human Hyperboreans, and from the arachnid denizens of Earth's last age. There had even been records from the subjects of extraterrestrial exchange. We were given free access of their records, but were not permitted to interact with any of the captive minds. We were shown as well the subterranean vaults wherein those dreaded and abhorred polypus things were imprisoned. The great race confirmed our suspicions that the things were creatures of an alien dimension. Even the Yith struggled to comprehend the nature of their physiology. They did, however, instruct us how to generate the precise form of electrical force needed to destroy the horrid polyps. We were greatly appreciative of this information, as the sheer number of the monstrosities was infinitely more vast than we had conceived. The Yith tell us that we are welcome to stay in Narcotis for as long as we like, though Oft is convinced that they're never going to let us leave. Additionally, they say that there are certain matters that they wish to discuss with us at such a time as we understand their concept of time. For now, the crew and I have many more of the city's marvels to sample. We are all taking conscious measures to remain on our best behavior. It has taken us a formidable amount of tenacity to reach Narcotis. We certainly don't want to be chased out of it. Well, that's our time for today. I have a city to explore. Until next time, stay mad, my duckies. They said it was impossible. They said I was mad, and I am, but it worked!